Unfortunately, the children are at the mercy of the parents, who
yes.
are making the meals.
Yes.
And again, it's not out of intention. Obviously, it's just lack of knowledge about what to eat, how much to eat, and the effects. So remember that food is a very satisfying, psychologically satisfying way of, it's an emotionally satisfying way.
Yes, it calms you down after you
Right.
get something you want like that.
And so parents are trying to do something good for their children, but really it's not. It has, an adverse effect. So.
I guess my viewers think I'm always going down on parents, but not really. It's because when I have information, I want to share it. If it's really all the information I give out of here is good stuff. And sometimes I've stopped in stores and said, well, who are you, Miss Food Lady, Food Lady or something, tell me how to raise my kids? And I said, no, it's not that at all. I just do these shows to help you keep you healthy and keep you safe.
Right.
Right?
That's very admirable of you, and I hope that
I hope they can accept this. If they can't, they don't have to watch.
That's true.
I'm serious.
Well, it's hard for people, to
it's
hear.
It's your life.
Yeah.
You only go around one time.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says. So if you can give awareness that's going to save you, put 10 to 20 years on your life, why not give it a chance?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely, I agree.
I'm called the educational lady. Everywhere I go, I don't know anything. I know quite a bit, but I derive from you because I've done what you say to do, and I don't want to be an example. But I'm a good example because I know how to take care of myself.
That's good.
And you look the same way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's continue.
Okay.
Carry on.
Let's talk about the long-term effects of diabetes. This can be,
Okay.
overall, it affects the quality of your life. You find,
Yes.
you can't participate in things that you once could. But the most dire and disturbing are the physiological effects, in terms
Okay,
of
tell me about it.
that has to do with potential blindness, heart and kidney diseases, leg ulcers. So there is a very good reason, not to
indulge.
Yeah, not to indulge. If you simply watch what you're eating to keep the low blood sugar, these risks, of high heart disease or kidney disease or blindness are at a minimum. So it's not much that you have to do to avoid these major dire risks.
I think I take care of myself. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a preacher, but I do know quite a bit about what I'm talking about.
Right. There could be other indications, other reasons, so I wouldn't assume automatically that, but it's certainly something, like a cue, a flash, wow, maybe something I better look into further. So.
Okay, what other things can we look for in diabetes? What happens to, say, a marriage, and one of the partners becomes diabetic, and they're tired, and they don't want to do anything? Is that one of the reasons by, things we can look for in diabetes?
Yeah, definitely being overtired, not wanting to be involved in things, depression and anxiety, all of that is related. So it's all-consuming, disease and not pleasant to have. So obviously it would or could affect the marriage, depending, of course, on the partners and how they would handle that.
Exactly, because if one's energetic and the other one doesn't want to move.
There's only so much you can do, the old adage, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
But, shows like yours are very helpful in that regard,
thank you.
Helping people be, informed and have the knowledge so that they can make these decisions. Because you know how it is when we get that information from our spouses. Somehow we don't listen to them, but we do listen to that lovely lady on television called Angela.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
But I've been not really fighting, but for 5 years I've been giving information that needs to go out there. every topic that I can think of. And when I saw you in the magazine, I thought, I've got to have her on my show.
Well, thank you.
Who's most likely to get diabetes, a man or a woman? Man or woman?
Women are more likely than men.
Why?
Right? Well, it's difficult to say. It would be, second guessing, but it probably has something to do with their physiological makeup, maybe what's happening on other emotional levels, the
I think
stress
women
that
are
they're
more
under.
emotional than men.
Yeah. So, and because so many diseases are, and diabetes included, are psychosomatic, this is an issue of a mental or emotional disturbance. So,
Why?
well, it has to do with just the way we perceive things. We are emotionally disturbed. The body affects the mind, and the mind affects the body. It kind of works both ways.
And we can't keep them tuned to be different, can we?
Not often. No, not often.
So if you're upset, I have a dear, dear friend, I won't mention her name, but when she's upset, she goes for peanut butter and jelly. It's a relaxer, and she knows who she is.
Yeah.
But that is very hard to change.
It is. I found that to be the case myself. I loved peanut butter, and then I found out it was really bad for me. So I switched to hummus. It's the chickpea.
I've heard of that.
And
it's chocolate, isn't it?
No, chickpea. It's a vegetable. It's a legume. So you just
Where
dip
do you
your
buy it?
in the store. You buy
Anywhere,
hummus.
health food store.
Yeah.
Hummus, and then what do you do? Is it?
Well, you dip carrots in it and celery and
so
and
it's a spread.
or the pita bread. So
I love
you
pita bread.
have
I
that
keep that.
same kind of consistency as peanut butter, nice and smooth, and then you just use the bread, some pita bread or not white bread, obviously, and dip it in there. So.
Okay, tell me something else.
Well, what I want to tell you now is what I came here to talk about is why yoga for diabetes.
Yes, why yoga?
Why yoga
Yeah,
for
tell
diabetes.
me about that.
Well, there are two approaches. There's the traditional medical approach to diabetes, and then there's the traditional yoga approach. First of all, let me provide a caveat in that both are absolutely working together. So it's not yoga is not antagonistic to the medicines, and we are hoping and vice versa takes place, and more doctors are open to. And I can mention one of my clients who was advised to take yoga by a doctor. But one of the things that many doctors are saying is that there are no positive systematic ways or cures for diabetes, and that you will always be dependent on just resolving the symptoms through drugs or insulin, diet. But yoga takes a whole different approach.
It's a calming thing.
Well, it looks at diabetes from the standpoint of that you have a say in your treatment. It's a different attitude. The idea that it's that you are dependent on a drug or insulin for the rest of your life is a rather negative way of looking at it. I mean, this is allowing for the fact that yes, you've worked with the doctor closely on this. You don't want to do anything that's detrimental in that regard, but that's taking a negative attitude. Whereas in yoga, it takes an internal view of yoga. It looks at the body's own natural regenerative processes, just like how with a runner talks about really getting that high with the serotonin. So there's a lot that you can do internally as far as addressing the issue of diabetes with yoga, and then you can also avoid taking, the insulin shots or that sort of thing.
That sounds like the most logical thing to do. It's harder, I'm sure, to get up and get started.
Yeah, it would be, but
you got to give to get. Life is worth going after.
But in addition, yoga allows the clients to take this more personal, this more inner view of things. And I think the bottom line here, and speaking from a physiological standpoint, is the brain, through the nervous system, controls every aspect of our life, every action, every reaction. And yoga addresses the nervous system and helps provide methods and techniques for controlling the nervous system. So it's a very powerful tool again, for diabetes. Okay, so there are three techniques in particular for that yoga proposes, and they are doing the yoga asanas. Those are asanas is a Sanskrit term for steady, positive posture or pose. Then there's pranayama, that's breathing exercises and techniques. And prana has to do with, prana in yoga tradition is the life force or vital force in the body. Yama means control of, so it's controlling the breath in various ways. And then there is meditation, which
That's wonderful.
It is very powerful tool.
It will relax you in a heartbeat. It really will.
And then lastly, deep relaxation. So let's go back, the asanas that I spoke of, those postures, they're not just simple physical exercises that you're doing. Unlike aerobics, where your focus is on, the physical body, the yoga postures are on not only the physical body, but what's happening mentally, what's happening with the breath, what's happening with even the spirit in terms of how you're viewing this. The yoga works still working on the physical body, toning and shaping the muscles, strengthening the body, providing flexibility. But it also works on those internal processes, the nervous system, the digestive system. So all of these are involved as far as helping to heal yourself.
Would you believe we're out of time?
You're kidding.
No. Could you come back maybe in a week or more so we can continue on with this?
Oh, sure. I just want
to.
Yes, I just want to be sure to add. Don't forget the meditation and the deep relaxation.
Exactly. I want to thank you.
Thank
for
you
coming.
very much.
See, the time flies when you're having fun.
It does.
I hope my viewers out there have enjoyed this as much as I have, and I will bring Pat Dunning back, and we will do another segment. Until next time.